If you read the news online, it can be easy to end up losing your faith in humanity pretty quickly. There sure are a lot of people out there acting like total D-bags. But there's a lot of stories that don't end up in the news at all, and they probably should because they show the good side of humanity.
And pull and drag him to safety before paramedics and firefighters arrive.
From the Russian cops who love animal safety to the guy who gave up the most important day to save a friend in need. Here's 15 acts of kindness that will restore your faith in humanity. Number 15. Russian cops help ducks. Cops get a bad rap sometimes. Heck, Russians get a bad rap in a lot of Western media at times. But we know that not all cops are bad, and that Russians produce just as many kinds of awesome people as any other nation, in spite of some of the garbage that gets put out in the media. So here's a perfect example of how some Russian cops took things to another level when it comes to being kind to animals. In the southern Russian city of Krasnodar, these cops stopped traffic on a road that was busy with cars to make sure that a mother duck could lead her little ones across safely. This video went viral in Russia, and now we're sharing it with you. You can see the cops moved a traffic sign to get the drivers to stop, and everyone waited patiently until the ducks had made it safely to the opposite side, and once mother and ducklings arrived at their destination, a pond on the other side, the cop could let the traffic continue with no further risk to the animals. Pretty cool. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Time for the rare topic. If being kind to animals is one of the most amazing acts of kindness, then another that is maybe even more incredible is saving another person's life, especially when you have to risk your own to do it. That should truly restore your faith in humanity. In this photo, we can see a woman who had accidentally driven her car off a bridge in flood waters, which were running below. Without thinking of their own safety, these two men rushed into the water where the injured woman was laying in her car, unable to get out. One of the men was trying to open the door, but it was impossible, so the other took a brick and, as we can see, smashed the window so that he could pull the woman out of the car before it submerged completely, saving her life for sure. Would you jump in like a hero to save someone in this way? As always, comment down below with the hashtag #RareTopic and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. Let's move on to the next one. Number 14. Man leaves his own birthday party to rescue dog. Gabe Castellanos was enjoying that special day we all get to enjoy once a year, his birthday. The main thing about a birthday is making it the most fun possible, with your friends, some food and drink, a good party, and only positive stuff, no drama necessary. But Gabe was just only beginning his night of fun when he spotted something pretty dramatic going on in New York's East River, and he knew he had to act. He realized a swimming dog was in trouble and that he was going to have to jump in and help her. So he grabbed a life jacket and ran down the pier. He stripped down to his underwear and scaled down the railing before dropping into the cold water. But the panicked dog didn't know what was going on and ended up biting the 38-year-old, getting him in the face and damaging a tooth too. But Gabe persevered and was able to struggle Harper back to safety. The dramatic rescue was captured on video, and although it was probably not the birthday Gabe had hoped for, he ended up being hailed as a hero for his kindness. Number 13. Malian hero scales Paris building to save child. A migrant from the West African country of Mali is being hailed as a hero in Paris after he climbed up to a fourth-floor balcony of a building in Paris to save a boy who was hanging from it. Mamadou Gassama was given special treatment at the Élysée Palace by President Emmanuel Macron, and also given what he had been hoping for when he migrated to France in the first place: French citizenship. The incident occurred in a northern suburb of Paris and was caught on video, which ended up going viral on French media outlets. Mamadou was hanging out watching a soccer match when he heard people screaming and honking their car horns nearby. so he went over to check things out. He realized people were freaking out because a young child was dangling from a high-up balcony, and he knew he had to act. "I did not really think, I started climbing directly," he told Macron. "As I was climbing up, I felt more and more confident. Within a minute, he had taken hold of the child and was bringing it to safety before emergency services arrived." Bravo, the president told him. Number 12. Woman texting while walking saved from being hit by car. Texting and walking. It's the gesture that will always be associated with the era we live in, hunched over, looking at a small screen, totally unaware of what is going on around you. Most of the time, the worst thing that could happen is you bump into another person who is texting while walking, but there are other dangers in this common habit. This woman in downtown Cincinnati shows us just how dangerous life can be when you are texting and walking, as well as wearing earphones, basically blocking off your eyes and ears to the world around. She was navigating by smell, maybe? Well, if that's the case, it wasn't working too well, as this girl was about to walk out into the street from behind a parked car without even looking. Lucky for her, an alert dude was walking the other way, instantly saw the oncoming car and the situation, and pulled her to safety. He even apologized for saving her life, which I guess maybe means he's Canadian?
I was like, no problem, sorry about that again, and we just went our separate ways.
Next time, hopefully she'll take a look before stepping out into the road. Number 11. Woman saves koala from bushfire. In recent years, Australia has been experiencing some brutal bushfires. While the fires can be a kind of long-term renewal for the land, in the short term they are totally terrifying. Australians have a pretty good system for making sure people are evacuated and relatively safe from the fires, but trying to help all the animals in the bush is another story altogether. The fires can be devastating to animal populations, which are in some cases already under threat. This poor koala was clearly already suffering. Its fur was scorched and it was clambering literally across flames, hoping to find a safe tree among the fires. But he was putting himself right into the danger zone. So one woman pulled off her shirt and ran into the fires to grab the koala with the shirt and take him to safety, risking her own life to save the life of this poor animal. The koala was injured and crying with the pain, but thanks to this amazing woman, he was able to get some cool water on his injuries before being taken to a place where he could get the proper treatment. Number 10. Commuters push train to save trapped man in Perth. The lady in the previous video is not the only Aussie who knows how to show true kindness. Here's another drama in Australia, this time in the western city of Perth. The CCTV shows a pretty normal situation of people getting aboard the train until one man makes a misstep and gets his leg trapped in the gap between the train and the platform. You know that voice that constantly says, "Mind the gap between the train and the platform" on most metro trains? Yeah, this is... that's why. Anyway, the man must have been pretty freaked out, and immediately his fellow passengers come to help. One calls the guard, while another tries to help the man free himself. At this point, there's just 3 or 4 people, but pretty soon, more commuters show up. These Aussies realize that if they all work together, then they can free this poor man. So as a team, they all put their hands on the train and begin to push. So the train leans back, and the gap gets wider, allowing the man to free himself, finally. Number 9. Police officer stops a train crash. Out in East China's Sihong County, a dramatic situation unfolded on one June day. Police officers came across a fallen tree following some storms that had hit the region, with very high winds and rains causing some moderate destruction. It turned out that this tree had fallen in one of the worst possible places, right across a train track. The 3 officers struggled for half an hour to try and move the tree trunk off the tracks, but with no success. It was just too heavy. However, in the distance, the sound of an oncoming train could be heard, just like in some old-time silent movie. And this train was coming in fast, meaning that any impact with the tree was guaranteed to have catastrophic results. The officers had little time to react, so one of them did the only thing he could think of, which was to take off his shirt and wave it in the air in the hope the driver would see and understand the signal. Luckily, that's just what happened, and the driver was able to apply the brakes and stop just short of where the tree was laying. Number 8. Runner saves deer stuck in fence twice. In this video, we can see Chloe Dorsey, a runner from Stone Mountain, Georgia. If you are thinking that Chloe is looking seriously buff and fit, you would be right, and she's about to prove just how athletic she really is by bending literal metal bars to save a trapped deer. Out on her morning run, Chloe noticed a young doe stuck in a metal fence. She bent down and used all her strength to pull the metal bars apart, which allowed the fawn to run free. Chloe put her hands on her hips, got her breath back after the effort, and was probably pretty happy that she had performed her good deed for the day. Or for the whole year even. Of course, just a few minutes later, Chloe came across the same deer again, stuck in another fence. Is this deer maybe kind of a dumbass? Anyway, Chloe has to do it all over again, asking the deer what she's going to do when her guardian angel isn't around to bend metal bars for her next time.
Okay. Come on, boo.
Except it's a little tougher this time, and in the end, Chloe jumps over the fence and frightens the deer enough that she is able to wriggle free. Hopefully this deer has learned not to be lazy and walk around the fence next time. Number 7. Freezing bird trapped on car roof, rescued by perfect guy. Are you ready for some more heartwarming human-animal behavior? Because that's what we've got coming right up in this next clip. Animals sometimes end up getting stuck in weird places, like we saw in the last video. And here's another example. This little bird somehow got trapped under a luggage carrier on the roof of this car. This would be pretty bad anywhere, but it happened in Norway, where the temperature was a chilly 34 degrees, and it was only 30 miles into the drive that the man driving the car noticed scratching sounds coming from the roof. So he pulled over to investigate. The poor bird was still alive, but almost frozen. So the man took a piece of card and was able to slide the bird out from where it was trapped. But it was in a pretty bad state. So the man wrapped him up in his sweatshirt and put him in the car with the heating on. So the bird had time to warm back up again. Within 10 minutes, the bird was back on its feet and ready to get back out flying around. So our hero let him loose, having saved his life. Number 6. Guy jumps off his boat to save sea turtles tangled in net. This is Magnus the sailor, who has been showing his big heart by saving sea turtles. This family of sea turtles found themselves tangled up in some clumps of human trash and fishing nets, which had been carelessly dumped in the ocean. But Magnus is not the kind of guy to dump things in the ocean. On the contrary, he's kind of the guy who cleans up after the people who dump things in the ocean. When out on his boat, he spotted the sea turtles in a bad state. His first thought was to get in the water and start trying to cut the animals free. He took some scissors and did his best to keep the frightened turtles calm, while he made sure to snip the cords which had bound them and were making it hard for them to breathe. Magnus had to be extra careful cutting the net from around its neck, but he did a fantastic job and gave these turtles a chance of survival. Number 5. Man saves family of 4 from floodwaters caused by Tropical Storm Isaias. When Tropical Storm Isaias hit, plenty of people across the US were flooded and in danger. In one incident, a Pennsylvania man, Dan DiGregorio, and 3 other men, all strangers, worked together to save a family who had become trapped by raging floodwaters. They made a human chain around the family and held on until the last person was safe and rescued. The incident took place in West Philadelphia, and people rushed to work to help each other, even though they didn't know each other. You can see how strong the river is, and it's pulling them away, says Dan. We're yelling at the dad, who's now about 15 feet away from the car, with his baby in his arms. He's almost going under, so we tell him to get back to the car. In one dramatic moment, the eldest child seemed like they were slipping away, but Dan grabbed the child by the wrist and held firm. Even last night, I couldn't sleep because I can still see the fear in his eyes as I'm holding onto them, because if I let go, he's gone, he said. Number 4. People rescue trapped elephant. Elephants are a very important animal in Sri Lanka, and when one gets into trouble, people know they have to act. Elephants are curious animals and quite often find themselves getting stuck in awkward situations. The problem with elephants getting stuck is that they are so huge and heavy that getting them out can be a major problem. In this clip, we see some people from Welikanda, Sri Lanka, who are determined to help an elephant who has become stuck in a canal. The elephant is believed to be around 25 years old, so this is a big one, and it is clearly proving very much for him to climb out of the steep canal. The rescuers decide to make a special elephant ladder out of rope and tires, so he can get some traction and climb out. But the elephant decides to just walk off in another direction. The elephant doesn't seem to know it's for his own good, so the rescuers use firecrackers to scare the elephant back towards the rescue zone, and now he's figured out what to do. But it's not easy. He struggles and struggles. The rescuers throw down some more rope with logs attached for extra weight, but it looks like the elephant can't manage it. He rests a while and then gathers the energy for one last try, and he makes it to many cheers. Number 3. Stranger rescues unconscious man from burning car. Here's another total stranger risking everything to rescue an unconscious man from a burning car. This dramatic fire took place in a shopping plaza parking lot in California, and firefighters were quickly on the scene to deal with it, putting out the blaze. But before they arrived, a more dramatic scene unfolded as the driver of the car was still inside it when the smoke began pouring from the engine. It seems the driver was incapacitated by the fumes, and the situation was getting worse.
His friend Leo shot this video of the rescue and put it on YouTube.
Several people just walked on by until one guy from far away realizes that there is someone inside the car still, so without thinking he runs right on over and opens the car door to pull the driver out. He then drags him away from the burning car so that he is safe from the flames, which are surely about to go wild, and he ended up receiving the medical attention he needed. Number 2. Strangers rescue 87-year-old woman, her son, and dog from sinking car. Here we see some incredible footage of a car smashing through a barrier and right down into a marina. There is serious drama, especially as the car contains a 87-year-old woman, her son, and their dog. The car was filling with water and beginning to sink, but luckily a few guys from the marina were able to leap into action right away. They threw themselves into the water and made an incredible rescue of the occupants of the car, pulling each one of them from the wreck and up to safety on a nearby boat.
Right here, Mike's in the water.
The truck was parked and then suddenly lurched forward, plowing right through the railing in front of it, throwing the occupants into a terrifying situation which could easily have cost them their lives. But thanks to these brave men, they are able to look back and smile about it now. Number 1. Woman rescues a drowning squirrel. In this clip, we can see a woman going about her usual business, taking some cardboard out to the recycling. First good sign that this woman is a good soul is that she recycles. But it goes further than that. On her way back, she sees something unexpected. Something moving inside a trash can that is half filled with water. She stops and realizes it is a squirrel stuck in there, swimming in circles, unable to get out, and in danger of drowning. She emptied the trash can, and the squirrel was free, but the woman was still worried. It was freezing cold outside, and the squirrel couldn't move after he got out of the bucket, she said. She brought him inside and treated him to a towel and a ton of peanuts. She kept on keeping him warm and feeding him, until eventually he stopped shivering and seemed to be back to normal. And ever since then, this grateful squirrel has come back every day to say hi to the woman who showed it kindness when it was most needed. So a new and lasting friendship was born. Would you be able to rescue someone in danger? What's the act of kindness you have witnessed that restored your faith in humanity? Let us know in the comments below. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.